This next one is one of the more emotional songs. This ends the album on Terpsichore, so even though it's a dance record, and I wanted it to be this kind of 80s kind of throwback dance record, this is a song I wrote 4 different sets of lyrics for. I couldn't find the lyrics for this thing. First off, it was about Philo Farnsworth, the guy that invented television, and it's a shame that like no one knows that the inventor of television is named Philo Farnsworth. Like how great is that? No, like, right? Like who invented television? Fred Westinghouse? I don't know, yeah. No, Philo Farnsworth invented it, and basically like all of his stuff was stolen from him, and yeah, it's a great story. So I did that set of lyrics, just didn't work. I had another set of lyrics about traveling, and that didn't work. I had a whole other set of lyrics. Finally, I found this sort of lyrics about using this idea from when I was a lifeguard. They used to teach us that drowning doesn't look like drowning. And for some reason, I don't know if I saw like a choking poster at Wegmans or something, and I just started thinking about like, you know, first aid and safety, and I think I just imagined, I remember being a lifeguard as a youngster, spending time at the pool, and one of the first things they teach you in the swimming and lifeguard course is drowning doesn't look like in the movies. In the movies, it's splashing and it's so stuff. In real life, when someone's drowning, they just like disappear. And it's very scary, and it doesn't look like drowning. So like you need to be able to find those people that like, oh, okay, they're not swimming, they're drowning. It doesn't look like drowning. And I thought, oh, that's a really cool metaphor to kind of use for people that seem fine, but maybe inside they're really hurting and are dealing with stuff. So taking that and kind of expanding on it, I used the Metallica 3-to-1 rule. Listen for that within the riffs that sort of happen. And there's a Talking Heads song called Big Business, which is a wonderful song. It's on the DVD extras when you get Stop Making Sense. It's actually a David Byrne song that Talking Heads did. But David does this wonderful chord thing where the song is kind of bopping along, and he plays this E minor chord. He goes, so like the tempo's playing, I think you've had enough. So it's sort of out of time, and I always thought that was really cool. It sounded like a weird keyboard part or like a weird xylophone part or something. So I took that and I thought, oh, that'll be a neat little effect that I can throw in here when we get to the second section. So there's a bunch of names in this, and all the names that are in here are people that have died. The first sort of section of the names are we have Frank and Kurt and Adam and Neil. Frank is Frank Zappa. Kurt is Kurt from Nirvana. Adam is Adam Yauch from the Beastie Boys, and Neil is Neil Peart from Rush, who all sort of, when they died, the world didn't know what they were going through. And it was really sad, and it kind of came out afterwards when they passed. The end of the song then gets more personal, and then it's Oscar and Andy and Michael and A.B. And Oscar was the first pup that I ever had, the dog that passed away. Andy was a good friend of mine that passed away in a plane crash very suddenly, very horribly. Michael was a friend of mine who took his own life. And A.B. was, of course, Alyssa B., who was a very, very good friend of ours. She was sick for a long time, didn't even know she was sick. She was misdiagnosed, didn't realize. So I take this song, and it's sort of very emotionally open-ended, talking about look for people that are drowning and see if you can help them. And then it gets very personal by the end, and how we just sort of, we deal with loss and we move on as best as we possibly can. So yeah, that's all the stuff I wanted to say. There's one cool thing that happens in this song. There's this accidental guitar part that my finger goes, and I didn't realize I was doing it until I wasn't doing it. And then while we were recording, I was like, wait, where'd that cool part go? Where's it? And so I was like, well, you're not doing that thing with your pinky on the B string. I'm like, what thing with my pinky on the B string? What are you talking about? He's like, yeah, you're doing this slide thing. So I had to consciously think. It's just, I didn't realize I was doing it until I wasn't doing it. And it's so different as opposed to, listen for that little pinky thing, if I do it, which is really cool. So here it is. This is called Drowning. And again, as a nod to Talking Heads, they have a song called Love Goes to a Building on Fire. But if you look at the title, it's love, and it's just an arrow building on fire. So the song is called Love Goes to a Building on Fire, but whenever they print it, it's love, arrow, building on fire. So this song is drowning, does not equal sign. You know, this thing does not equal sign drowning, which I thought it's a cool little nod to Talking Heads again. Stealing from the best, stealing from the absolute best. Unfortunately, you can't use that symbol on Spotify and all the iTunes and stuff. You can't, that's one of those things you can't encode MP3s with that symbol. So I had to use not in parentheses, which is not nearly as cool, but there you go. Here it is. This is called Drowning, Not Drowning. You wouldn't know it just by looking. His face is calm against the sea. He never waves in any saving, just keeps rebuilding with debris. And when the calm begins descending, finds he's unmooring from the key. Drowning does not look like drowning. Water's embrace looks quite sincere. Hardly a wave is made, you suddenly just disappear. No evidence that you were here. Drowning does not look like drowning. He never asks for any rescue. He never sends an SOS. He isn't looking for a savior. What good's a sucker to success? And though he's craving absolution, he's never willing to confess. Drowning does not look like drowning. Water's embrace seems quite sincere. Disappear. No evidence that you are here. Drowning does not look like drowning. Frank is gone, yet we go on. Kate is gone, yet we go on. Adam's gone. And though the tide continues rising, he proudly takes it on the chin, mistaking vanity for valor, mistaking weathering for wind. And with the silence that he's squalling, turns out he's flooding from within. Drowning does not look like drowning. Water's embrace seems quite sincere. Hardly a wave is made, you suddenly just disappear. No evidence that you were here. Does not look like drowning. Water's embrace looks quite sincere. Hardly a wave is made, you suddenly just disappear. Somehow we have to persevere. Oscar's gone, yet we go on. Andy's gone, yet we go on. Michael's gone, Amy's gone, yet we go on. Thank you so much.